All right, everybody, welcome back to another Train Sim World 2 video. This is our part 2 of American Route Monday. We're going to take the MP36 on a limited stop service from San Francisco to San Jose. Loading in now, and as soon as we get in there, we will get everything set up, get the passengers on board, and we'll be on our way. Hopefully everybody's having a nice Monday afternoon. Been a bit snowy here in New York. Not nearly as bad as other spots have gotten, apparently. So, knock on fake wood. don't don't need any more snow. Get the door open. All right. Get this set up. Down there. Our stuff turned on here. Yeah. Turned on. So that should turn on the lights for the passengers. Yep, they're on. Okay. Didn't look like it at first. Got those on. And we're going to get the headlights on. This on. Going to get the doors shut so we'll be ready to depart. Lights on. Set lights on. Oh, let's get the alerter on here. There we go. All right, we will be on our way. All right. Go off there. We had quite the epic journey earlier today on the sand patch grade. Took quite a long time to upload onto YouTube. Oh my goodness, that was quite something. Yeah, so it's finally loaded and playing right now while I'm doing this. And I'm really happy to say congratulations to Corvette Racing for their 1-2 showing at Daytona over the weekend. Very happy for them. That's they tie for first for my favorite sports car team here in America. Of course, the team that I always loved, the Flying Lizards, have they've been in some, I guess, well, it's the World GT Championship, the former SRO, well, it's a SRO run organization, does GT racing in Europe and here in America. I think they were running Aston Martins, or that was their plan, but yeah, they used to run Porsches, ran some Audis for a while, went back to Porsche, and now they've gone to Aston Martin. But yeah, they're like the home team because they're based out of Sonoma there by Infineon Raceway. I know it's called something different, but it's always going to be Infineon to me. that's they're based near there, so they're like the home team that I've always rooted for. But Corvette, I tell you, the years that I've gone to the races, when I used to go to the races at Laguna Seca, and even there at Affinia, the Corvette team has just always been really fan friendly. I think the second time I saw them race at Sebring in '07, the drivers were supposed to be going to their other briefings and whatnot, and the drivers just basically for Corvette said, no, we're going to stay here and sign some more autographs because there's all these people that have been waiting to say hi to us and take pictures, get our autographs, so we'll be in there when we're ready, kind of thing. So really a well-run organization. Just phenomenal job for them to get another 1-2, the 3 finishing ahead of the 4. Konica Minolta, Wayne Taylor Racing won the race outright. Good for them. Not a huge fan of them, but good for them for winning. It's their 4th win in 5 years. So seemed like it was a good race. I followed it here and there. Didn't follow it nearly as much as I'd wanted to this year, but really excited for the start of the World Endurance Championship season. The new hypercars, the new car from Toyota, Bicoles Racing's got a new car. Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus has got their car. So, yeah, it should be a good season all around for the World Endurance Championship. More teams will be going into the hypercar class over the next couple years. So, hopefully there'll be some really good, strong competition over the next year or so. That it's not just one team running everything, and then people just don't want to really watch that. I used to root for it. I know I'm kind of guilty of that myself. When Audi basically had no competition, I was happy to see them just obliterate anybody else that dared showed up to attempt to take them on, but really didn't have the ability to do so. And I could see now why that does make, when one team dominates all the time, it does make things a bit boring. Of course, it's not when it's your team, So yeah, it's never boring when it's your team, but when it's the other team or the team you don't like, it's you get some rather bad. It's not very fun, I don't think. So yeah, but seemed like it was a safe race. Nobody was injured, I don't think. Certainly nobody was killed. That's always a good thing. There's competitors I don't like, but I don't want to see them get injured during the race or anything like that, or the crew members get people changing the tires or putting the fuel in or whatever. Don't want to see anything happen to them. So yeah, it seemed like it was a good race overall. Yeah, really pleased for Corvette. Got the season. The defending champions got off to a good start, so glad to see that. Anyway, so we're going to do the service. We're stopping at South San Francisco first, and then we're heading on to Millbrae. Make some stops along the way, and then we'll get into San Jose, not San Francisco. We just left San Francisco. Go down to San Jose, and then we'll be done here for the evening. And then tomorrow we'll be on West Somerset with the Class 33 GRN in the morning, and in the afternoon we're going to do the Tees Valley line, the Class 101. That crazy changing gears and all that, but hopefully that will be entertaining and interesting. All that I think that's going to be a very the second stream on Tuesday is going to be a bit might take some time, but we'll get through that. Hopefully we won't make any massive mistakes or whatever along the way. Just take some practice with the gear changing and all that. Ooh. I need to slow down, don't I? I think I might have just made that one. Maybe. Wasn't paying attention. Yep. Ooh, boy, that was just barely got it to 65 in time. But this is the Baby Bullet service, or Baby Bullet train. Of course, this train is going to be replaced when they electrify the line as well. This started in 2004. It's only got that top speed to 79 miles an hour. That's the line speed, no matter what. I think, and I don't have Train Sim World 2020 on my Xbox anymore. I think there used to be a non-stop service from San Francisco to San Jose, I think, on the old game before this one came out. You either have limited stop service, all stop. If it says Baby Bullet, it's not a legit Baby Bullet non-stop service from San Francisco to San Jose. I think they used to have that, but they might have done away with that over the years. Maybe as the 40s weren't able to run as much as they wanted to. Maybe they had some maintenance issues or whatever, but yeah, these were seemed to be pressed into, so they may have updated the timetable based on what Caltrain, what information Caltrain may have given them as far as how they ran their services. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate because there was fun just taking this thing and just going. You know, maybe you stop at Mill Bray, maybe there was one stop, but that was about it. I'm almost certain of it. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm almost certain we had non-stop service at one point. But yeah, maybe the timetables had changed, and the good people of Caltrain had updated Dovetail, and so Dovetail made those changes as well. Just like the other train, the F40, and with the gallery cars, I've ridden on this one as well, both directions to San Francisco and from San Francisco. You know, these are more modern, whereas the gallery cars and the F40 are much older. They've been on the route for quite some time. But yeah, you got these a little bit sleeker, probably more energy efficient, but not enough that they will continue service on the electrified line. So I don't know that we're even gonna get, I'm sure there's gonna be a mixture of Baby Bullets, or not Baby Bullet service, but what do you call it? Limited stop service with all stop service with the new electrified line. little. We got some time here. Let's try to. We don't want it to stop. There we go. We're way early. We'll try to get our max points here. There we go. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, these will be going away. The F40s, the gallery cab cars, everything will be all on one system, it looks like. But I'm sure they're gonna, have a bit of everything, all stop service, limited stops, maybe even a non-stop all the way to San Jose, or maybe stop at San Jose and then go on to Gilroy, although we won't see that on the line here. But yeah, so there's the route map. We are right there. Millbrae will be next. My old place I used to live there, Mountain View. Lived and worked there for some years. Miss it a lot. Just that little downtown area was so nice. It didn't matter what time of year it was just a really nice place to live. Palo Alto is certainly very nice. The side, of course, going over by Stanford University is just phenomenal. Some really nice houses there. Downtown Palo Alto, lots of restaurants and shops and whatnot. Always, certainly in San Francisco, always enjoy getting around there, going to the San Francisco Giants games, Fisherman's Wharf, Chinatown, the Japanese Cultural Center. Always something to do. The Metreon, the Sony Metreon. I don't know how busy it is nowadays, but that was a really cool place to go years ago when it first opened up. I mean, it was just always packed. Of course, the hype kind of died down after a while. Yeah, really neat place to go. Yeah, I miss home. I won't lie, miss home. But way too expensive for me to live there. Just rent's way too high. All that stuff. But anyway, I think next week what I may do, I may just do a double run on Peninsula Corridor. Maybe we'll take a break because Sand Patch Grade is just huge. I mean, it just takes so much time. And I think what I'll do is I may do I'll do a passenger service in the morning. We'll go from San Jose to San Francisco on the old Nippon gallery car, and then we'll do in the evening we'll do freight service here on this route. We'll use the Union Pacific GP38s, which you've seen already on this route, parked on the sides. But we'll do that. We'll do a freight service on this route. Shouldn't take very long. But yeah, it'll be a doubled up Peninsula Corridor Monday. We'll do that next week. Or maybe, since I'll have classes, my first class is like at 2:15 on Monday, on the 8th, a week from today. So I may just do both of them back to back Monday morning. We'll do a run up to San Francisco, pop out of the menu, go back in and pick up a GP38 freight service. And yeah, maybe we'll do that. We'll just do it back to back on Monday. And that way I have Tuesday, because I don't get out of class until I have a second class that starts a little bit, like 10 or so minutes after my first class at 2:15. But I don't get, well, I don't know that we're going to go all the way till 5 something in the evening. But I don't want it to, be kind of tired from being on Zoom classes for over 3 hours or just about 3 hours. So, yeah, I'll do the, I'll just do everything Monday morning. Well, I've been speeding a couple times already. That's just not acceptable. So Millbrae, I think I talked about this before. Millbrae's got that the BART station there. We saw briefly the BART tracks go off to San Francisco International. That was the. It took a while to get that extension approved, but then they also added on the extension into the Millbrae station, so people could take Caltrain up to Millbrae, hop on BART, and then go out to the airport there. So all under the idea that it would severely reduce automobile traffic on the freeways in the area. I don't know if that was really successful. I don't think it really was. I mean, it's a great idea, but not a lot of people want to get on a train with all their bags and crowded and whatnot. So yeah, it was a novel idea. The BART tracks are over here. You got that third rail, which is guarded by this white plastic cover. That's how the trains operate throughout the Bay Area. It goes underneath the bay, the Trans Bay Tube, which was a engineering marvel at the time. A lot of people still don't like the idea of going under the water. As you start off on land, you go from Oakland, there's the tube, and then eventually you're underwater, and then you're underground going into San Francisco. It's all like a subway system at that point. And then when you get to San Francisco, of course, you can take the Muni system to other parts of San Francisco. It seemed like it was laying there for a while. So yeah, that's another transportation system around the city of San Francisco. You also have the cable cars when they're running. Of course, there's a lot of maintenance has to be done on those lines, the cars themselves, and the cable car line themselves. I actually got to see there's a museum, and you can go and watch. And it's all labeled where the lines go from. I forget where it is actually in the city. I'd have to look it up. I took some pictures in there, but you can watch the cables coming through that building, and there's a maintenance part there for the cable cars and maintenance bays and all that. They do have some of the early cable cars on display there, but yeah, really neat little experience. But if you could ever go there and ride the cable car, just any direction, it's just a really cool experience. Of course, a lot of people, I think over the years you've seen it in movies and commercials, the people hanging off the side of the cable cars. Nobody wants to sit inside the cable car. Everybody wants to be that person on those steps along the side, kind of hanging out. I don't think they really encourage that for safety reasons. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by a vehicle or whatever. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to the city and ride a cable car, you'll never forget it. And the best part is if you take the cable car that stops near Ghirardelli Square, you can go and tour the chocolate factory at Ghirardelli Square and then ride the cable car back. Yeah, really neat experience. Can't talk about it enough. You know, it's always a fun thing to do. But walking around, it's some hills. Don't get me wrong. And I've walked. Let's see, when I stayed in the city in 2000. End of 2009, early 2010. Yeah, that's when it was. Early 2010. I stayed near the Japanese Cultural Center, and I walked. I was going to catch a cable car to go down by Fisherman's Wharf, and they were working on one of the lines, so I hoofed it. And I ended up walking from my hotel all the way down to Fisherman's Wharf, and it wasn't a very difficult walk, you know. It was fun because you walk right past Lombard Street, the street that zigzags back and forth. That's very famous. But yeah, you know, I'd even say sometimes walking around the city, you just see so much that if you drive or you're, other than the cable cars, I mean, you stop every so often and they don't go super fast, so you kind of get a sense of the city. You could do a tour around San Francisco, parts of it, that show some of the famous landmarks. There was one that followed, it pointed out some of the parts of San Francisco that were filmed in the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen. Yeah, really lots of history there. You can go to the Fillmore West, where acts like the Grateful Dead and Janis Joplin, just you know, the big names of the 60s, 70s, Jefferson Airplane, for instance. The Summer of Love group sort of thing have played there. I walked by there. I haven't been inside. I've never watched a concert there, but quite a lot of famous acts have played at the Fillmore West. Yeah, I'd say walking around the city is just as enjoyable as taking a cable car or something, you know. But be prepared to walk. I mean, it's not easy, and if you're a little bit out of shape, it's, you know, it's going to be difficult. But you know, just take your time and enjoy the sights and the sounds and everything. You know. Certainly, if you get out there during the summer and catch a San Francisco Giants game, not a bad seat in all of Pac-Bell Park. You know, you can, bleacher seats are always cheap. You can always get those. You sit out there in the left and center field. Yeah, really neat place to go. Yeah, I wish I was able to get home more often, but it's flying is expensive, hotels and all that stuff. You know, if I don't go fly in to see family right away, and I go elsewhere, it does cost quite a bit. But yeah, really, I miss home a lot. Won't deny it. It is what it is. All right, we're going into Hillsdale. Let everybody know we're coming into the station here. Here too. Alright, let's shut the bell off. over. Well, it's a Bay Area name. Hillsdale Mall's, I think, over that neck of the woods, so to speak. I think. You know, the way that they have the roads here and all that isn't. I don't think it's like completely like it would be. No, well, no, I do remember this part. I think I'd have to look up, but I think Hillsdale Mall would be kind of like over here somewhere, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've looked it up or whatever, but yeah. Pretty neat place. There was, I want to say it was either, I think it was a Barnes & Noble's there. I don't know if there still is. It's either that or there was a Borders Books and Music there, which is no longer. They went under some years ago, unfortunately. But they used to have, you know, before Starbucks was kind of grew into the big thing it is today. Barnes & Noble's had their own little cafe sort of situation. You can go there and sit. The one in Palo Alto was just beautiful because there's like a little courtyard situation. Oop. Oh, not supposed to move just yet. Oh, and the doors are still. Oops, daisy. Paying attention here. Got so busy talking. Yeah, but the Barnes & Noble's, they had like this really nice courtyard on the outside of the entrance to the Barnes & Noble or Borders Books and Music. Go in there, get your coffee, or even if you had like your water bottle with you, whatever, your own coffee, you could just sit there and read a book or whatever. Really kind of a relaxed place to hang out. Yeah. Used to go there quite a bit when I worked in quote-unquote Menlo Park / East Palo Alto. Redwood City's next. Good old famous Redwood City Arch. We'll pass by as we go into the station. Really neat little landmark. There's two peaks in the Bay Area that are the highest, I think, in the Bay Area. You have Mount Tamalpais, which is just north of San Francisco, and then Mount Diablo over by Concord, Walnut Creek area. They're like the two highest peaks, and actually if you're at either one on a clear day, you could see across to the other one. Pretty neat places to go visit as well. You can drive up to Mount Tamalpais. There's hiking trails and I think biking trails as well. Really neat area. One of the other places to visit is Treasure Island. In the middle between Oakland and San Francisco, the Oakland to San Francisco, the bridges, well, yeah, it passes over or through kind of Treasure Island. But yeah, they had the World Fair or something on Treasure Island years ago. Yeah, I think it's called. Sorry, my memory sometimes is not always the best, but anyway, go there. You can see the old Pan American. Pan Am used to run the China Clippers out of there. The huge flying boats, basically out of San Francisco at that right there at Treasure Island. So you can see that terminal still stands. You can actually go inside, I think, still. but it's a really neat Art Deco style building. Go check that out. There's just so much to see in the city. It's ridiculous. You got the Museum of Modern Art, you got the DeYoung Museum, the Botanical Gardens, just all kinds of stuff. There's never nothing to do in San Francisco. That's for sure. There's always movies, there's plays, there's museums, there's ball games, there's all kinds of stuff. Never a dull moment in that city, that's for sure. So we got the fog in here, 5:30. Sun's kind of going down. It's not uncommon, sometimes, for this sort of weather to kind of flow into the Bay Area. The Pacific Ocean is just on the other side of, well, there's hills and whatnot that but yeah, there's the ocean's not far. Oh, that's another thing too. If you ever you can go, there's a restaurant, hopefully they're still in business, the Cliff House, famous. You can have dinner, look right out at the Pacific Ocean while you eat. The old Saturo bathhouse, the remnants of where it was are still there, not far from the Cliff House restaurant. You can walk down and walk around the ruins of that. Let's pass the sign back there. There it is. Always something to do in San Francisco, there's no doubt about it. Let's go back here to the back end here, and we should be able to still see the, yep, there it is, Redwood City. Climate best by government test. I think at night that lights up. It's got like the neon sign. I don't think it turns on for the game, but definitely in real life I think it lights up in the evening. Doors, take the brake off, so once we get the okay, we're ready to go. Now these windows are tinted. They're a little bit darker, so it's hard to tell sometimes if the lights are on. The lights on the other, the gallery cab car, all those, you can actually, the lights are very bright in there. So if you run like a nighttime service using the F40 and the gallery cab car, those silver, you'll definitely see those lights on. Now, of course, there are conductors on these trains. Caltrain conductors, they do check tickets when you get on. If you don't have a ticket, you'll pay cash there. I don't know if they take cards or not, but they do take cash, I think. Although now maybe they only take cards due to the pandemic. Maybe they don't want to handle cash. But yeah, if you don't have a ticket, don't have a way to pay, I think the next stop, then you're let off, and that's that. You might have to pay a fine for trying to ride without a ticket. So, but both of these, this service or this set of cars and the gallery cars have, you can bring your bicycles on board. They have special cars for those. Storage kind of a situation. So yeah, they do encourage that, or a lot of people have been doing it for a number of years. I'm sure they'll continue that with the when they electrify the line. Those new cars will have spaces for bikes. So we're on our way to Menlo Park. Next stop after that will be Palo Alto. I used to know what Palo Alto meant, and I want to say, and you could Google this to check if I'm correct, I want to say it meant tall trees. I don't know if it's Latin or what, but I think it meant tall trees. Well, this Monday has flown by quickly. Felt like I was dragging when I got up this morning, although probably because of the cold weather, I didn't really feel like getting up out of bed. Although it's not cold in my apartment, but it just that knowing that it snowed outside, and maybe because I know I didn't sleep very well either because of the snow plows going back and forth up and down the street overnight, and they'll probably continue tonight, laying down salt and sand to try to keep the roads as clear as possible for emergency services. We have quite a large elderly population in the area. This area was home for IBM. Industrial Business Machine started here. A lot of people retired from there. Did not move when IBM left. So a lot of pensioners from IBM live here in the area. And a lot of people smoked for a long time. A lot of people with COPD and emphysema because of that, unfortunately. Almost to the spot. It's almost right where that tree is. Would have been the perfect spot, I think. There is a live stream going on, of course, for Dovetail Games, is showcasing Southeastern High Speed tonight. I could be watching. I'm not. I don't. I won't, only because, I mean, I'm going to hear about it tomorrow that they didn't really keep their either. Well, I think people are just going to complain. Anyway. But I know I'll be picking it up Friday when it comes out. Looking forward to it. As soon as I get up Friday morning, I'll get that downloaded, and then I may just do a couple streams. We'll do the training videos on those. We might not do anything else Friday. We might just take it easy Friday. Or I'll do that Friday morning, and then maybe Friday afternoon we'll do one of the scenarios. Yeah, we'll do that. Wednesday and Thursday are German routes again. I don't know what I'm going to do for those just yet. We'll figure that out as well. Probably after I get done with this, I'll kind of plot out Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not paying attention anymore. Well, if we go a little bit past here with the locomotive, that's okay, because as long as... No, we're not going too far. Oh, that's embarrassing. I got so wrapped up talking about other things. Man, that's not good. That would probably net me some serious complaints from the passengers. We'll look in here. So there's your seating. You have a conductor that would stand here, or they'd stand somewhere by the doors, and they would open. I think they can basically open them from anywhere, wherever they're standing. Alright, let's get ready to get out of here. That was bad. California Avenue's next. Not far from Palo Alto. Very near one another, actually. But, obviously not. It's very similar. Nice restaurants, nice shops, whatnot. Not far from the very famous Fry's Electronics. Bay Area. Used to see commercials for them all the time growing up. Got Good Guys Electronics. A lot of those. A lot of them have since folded. Best Buy put a lot of them out of business when they came out. Oh, that's another thing too. Palo Alto, right as we're going towards San Jose, to the left there is IKEA. It was one of the big ones when it first arrived in the Bay Area. A lot of students from Stanford University shopped there for decent furniture at a fairly low cost, something for the dorm rooms or whatever. Yeah. I haven't been in IKEA in ages. I don't even know if there's one up in Syracuse. I think there is, but I've not been by there yet. If I ever moved up to Syracuse, I'd definitely buy some furniture from IKEA. It's not the best quality, but it's okay. Years ago, I had an IKEA bed, the frame, and buy the frame and mattress, all that stuff right there. They have a restaurant there inside the store. Famous Swedish meatballs. stopping is just atrocious tonight. We're all on the... This time everything's on the platform, so it's not too terribly bad. Yeah. That was when IKEA opened up, that was a huge lot of jobs there. You know, some students worked there obviously because it probably fit around their school schedule, but yeah, a lot of people went to work there. And I think they have a Best Buy there too, or they did. I don't know if it's still there or not. Let's get the door closed. We're getting off the brake. But the IKEA was built. The line between Palo Alto and East Palo Alto is Highway 101, and they built the IKEA on the East Palo Alto side, but just right at, you know, it's like you leave IKEA and go over 101 and you're in the nicer part of Palo Alto. But yeah, it did provide a lot of jobs for people in the area. All right, we're heading to San Antonio next, and then on to Mountain View. We'll try to pay attention better now. I've just been getting kind of homesick and thinking about places and whatnot. Then I start losing focus here on the game, and that's not. So this little display, I don't know. We've never been able to use it. I don't even know what it does, to be honest. I would guess it would have like timetable updates and some other information. You do have a radio, obviously, for, you know, dispatch could call the trains if there's a problem on the line somewhere or something like that. Looks like somebody's here to clean off the sidewalks here. Drop some salt, melt the snow. Saw them, heard this shoveling. Alright, let's get the... Could even use the dynamic brake, I guess. Coasted on in. Just give it a little bit more gas. See, technically, well, see, they got the spots here, and then they have spots down here. It's kind of weird how they have both. We're still on time. We'll leave a little bit after 5:50 in 30 seconds. Probably close to almost 5:51. Mountain View's next. So one of the secrets to this game, if you have routes that have passenger and freight service, the quickest way because a lot of the times you have to get to level 20. That's like one of those little what do you call it? I'll show you here. Achievements. The fastest way to 20 is by doing a lot of passenger service, because you get the most points out of that. You only get maybe half or less than half of the points if you're doing freight. Now obviously Sand Patch, I think when I did it this morning, I ended up with about 11,000 points, maybe something like that. But yeah, otherwise there's not much to do in freight. It's a nice relaxing alternative to doing passenger service, because freight doesn't always have like you have to be here by a certain time sort of thing. So you can't in theory you can kind of take your time, but after a while that's going to get, you're going to be like, why am I not going quicker? What's going on, kind of thing. So, thinking about that, today, when I was uploading the video to YouTube, it took so long for it to process. If I do Sand Patch, and I want to do it again, but I may break that up into parts. And so I may just do like a Sand Patch day, every other Monday maybe, where part one will do half of the journey, save it, and then come back in and finish it up. Because I think 3 hours, or almost 3 hours in one viewing, is a lot. Kind of thinking about that today. So I think I'd like, I definitely want to show the route off. It's very nice scenery, like I said during the stream earlier. But it's also, it takes so long. So if I go for about an hour, stop, save at a certain point, back out, and then come back maybe later in the day and finish it up, I think that would be better than trying to do it all in one sitting, because this is too much to do in one sitting. And look at nearly three, it was over 2 hours, or almost, it was 2.5, give or take, doing that whole thing. And that's a lot of time. So I'd rather break it up as much as possible. Do a part one, save, do the rest of it later. I think that's a bit more manageable than trying to do it all in one shot. The only way I think I could maybe do something in one shot would be if I had just did the cold loading or something. I don't think those take too long. They just seem like they do, because you have to load every car. You have to. Boy, rain again. Man, this is embarrassing. We're still going to be on time, but it's just. Be a little bit late leaving Mountain View. There's the now they don't have the lines. They used to, and I think they took them down, or they deleted them. But this is the light rail system. I think that's electrified. These tracks over here. Little bit of rollback. Finally, throttle will kick in and we're on our way. Sunnyvale's next, and then Lawrence after that, and then we should be pulling into San Jose after Lawrence, I think. If not, we'll stop at Santa Clara after Lawrence. Let's just take a quick peek here. Good thing is, if you're never sure, you can look at your schedule. Lawrence, Santa Clara, yeah, then San Jose. Because you can't, I don't know how else to say, I don't know how you can scroll down on inside the this little pop-up timetable there. I've not been able to figure out how to do it. I guess if I had a keyboard, I could do it, but anyway. But yeah, Sand Patch is just, it's brutal. It's a lot of route in one sitting. You know, if you could go a little bit faster, then it wouldn't be so bad, but you know, you're stuck going that speed. And I'm still really surprised how well the GP38s did on that route today. I thought we would have a lot more problems, but all that loaded coal, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I'll look around. Maybe next time I'll do a coal loading service, just to kind of break it up from doing usual runs, something different. You know, kind of like with the other routes that have passenger and freight, try to do one or the other, you know, just to kind of break it up. Thank you to my one viewer again, who keeps coming in and watching my shenanigans. Hopefully it's been comical, entertaining, however you want to call it. Alright, let's get the brake on now. Start slowing. Should have probably gotten it on a little bit earlier. We'll be okay. It's easy to get complacent in this game, kind of misjudge your braking, forget where you should really start slowing down, you know, that sort of stuff. It's easy to make those mistakes, trust me. Got the gallery cab cars. I really like the design of these. It's just really that silver. It's got a little bit of color, but just that silver is just, to me, is iconic. You know, I always think of those cars. Looks like they're getting ready to leave. Stuck right on the spot for me. I was thinking they were getting ready to leave. The door's still open? Yep. Let's get that bell off there. So you can run across, well, you shouldn't run, but you can walk across here to get from one side to the other. I don't know that there's a steps or, you know, like an underpass or whatever. It's up there, they go. I'm not even paying attention. Terrible tonight. It's terrible. All right, heading on to Lawrence. So Lawrence is that tricky one where we're going to go off to the side here. We have to kind of go off on a separate branch here, kind of thing, off the main line. That's why you get the yellow light, the warning, and then 50-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up. Do. Aha! That's that's that special service. Ah. Behind us, okay. So Dovetail made this special service. It's two of the F-40 EHs. And boy, am I just maybe I'm not paying attention. Two F-40s, and then you have the 12 of the gallery cars together. It was for a Martin Luther King special train sort of thing. They did do a stream where they took it from San Jose to San Francisco on MLK's birthday. But one of the things you can do, I mean, you can do that actual service in the game, but you can also put the train together using the MP-15s, or one MP-15. You connect the gallery cars and you run a locomotive over, connect it to the front, and then you can, I think, push, or you can take that into San Jose, that service. And then from there, but San Jose can handle that long of a train, 12 cars plus the 2 locomotives. I don't know, it's weird because not every station along the way can handle that many cars at one time. But it was, yeah, it's a pretty neat thing to see. I was like, look, why is there? So yeah, that's what it is. It's the MLK special train that they put together for his birthday this year. I don't know if that was something that they did when they released the MP-15 for, because that's a separate DLC. I don't know if that's something that they did for that locomotive when it was a DLC when it first came out here on Train Sim World 2020. I didn't own it back then. I wasn't too keen on shunting duties and stuff like that, but I picked it up towards the end of last year, I think, and I've really enjoyed running around with it. You can actually do some services with the train. You'll take some, like, what do you call it, some cars with like gravel in them to re-gravel the line, I think. There it goes, right there. We've got this red here. Just a smidge, because we're waiting for them to pass, so they're just passing our entry point back onto the main line. So ours should be going yellow shortly. there. Our destination is right there, so I guess we have to wait a little bit longer till we can go in. I don't think there's anything else going on. Gotten yellow. Maybe when the train passes through St. Clair. And they were hauling pretty good. I would have thought they would have made Santa Clara pretty quick. Take a hot minute because we gotta at the end there we gotta go 50 to go cross over back onto the main line here to the left of us. That last car is from. Alright, so that's okay. Hold on a second. Something. Oh, we are waiting. Heck, somebody I know would say. That's just. Oh. Such is the life of a train driver on this route, this game. So we got that. Yeah, there's a station there. So it's like they went out of the way to get out of the way for that other service that doesn't stop maybe until San Jose. So there's that. They're there. If it doesn't come back on to the track here, then it's going to go into this yard. Let's see if. All right. Finally, we can go. See if it did go into that bit. Yeah, it's slowed way down, so it's going into the yard. So I guess they took it back from San Francisco and they're just parking it right there in the yard. They're not even going all the way to San Jose. some. Would have never guessed. Why, I never. The shenanigans this game pulls sometimes. I'm kidding, of course. Yeah, I had no idea. I ran that service up to the city, but I don't think I ever brought it. I don't remember bringing it back and then parking it right there. I thought it would go all the way to drop off passengers at San Jose and then go to the yard. Like, they're not even like putting it in, taking it over by the gas station. Somebody's gonna have to get fired for that. It's terrible. Not taking care of the train, not refueling the locomotives, probably leaving the trash in there, just all kinds of nastiness to clean out, you never know. Oh, man. No, actually, people were, I have to say, people were always pretty good about picking them up after themselves on the trains. I think the only time it was a bit questionable was after Giants games, especially if we were playing the Dodgers, you know, people drinking heavily and all that. But for the most part, I think all the riders have a pretty good respect for Caltrain and the passenger seats and all that. Can't say this. And BART trains were just you got people putting gum, because some of those had like cloth seats, I think. So, you know, gum and just ugh. But yeah, Caltrain cars by and large, everything was very clean. I have to admit, being a bit funny there, but probably didn't come across that way. But anyway, yeah, that just amazed me though. I honestly thought that it would go all the way to San Jose, drop passengers off, because it did start off in San Jose originally, and then they would close out that service. You know, you would take you would run to the other end, basically hop in the gallery car, the engineer little area there on the gallery cab car, and do the run that service over here to the maintenance yard, and then, which is right here. Yep, they just parked it there. Look. Oh, no. Yeah. So there's the locomotive that came off the end there, and then this will separate. Yeah, that's really strange. It's like it's doing all of it's on its own. Oops. I'm trying to put the throttle on while I've got the... So I would think you would have to break that down with using the MP15s. But man, yeah, they're just that one locomotive separated, and now they're gonna back it over here somewhere, I guess. That's just crazy to me that it would do that all on its own. I've never seen that before. That's too funny. But yeah, that's yeah. If you Google Dovetail Games, it was on MLK's birthday. If you Google that or look for it on YouTube, you can watch that whole service live. Well, it's a replay, but you can see what they did for his birthday. So. Yeah, kind of a neat thing. So hats off to them for doing that. I didn't expect it. Now they may have done that last year, but I wasn't really paying attention to the game. I think at that point, I don't think I bought it. I think I bought it. Yeah, Because this time last year I was still, yeah, we weren't in lockdown yet. I was still working at the community college, so yeah, I hadn't even picked up the game yet. So they may have done it last year too. I don't know, or I don't know if this year was the first year that they actually did it. But yeah, the cool thing about this game really is that there's train fans from all over the world who love this game. You know, of course, everybody wants to see their hometown station, railroad sort of thing in the game. Not always possible. You know, of course, a lot of that's just it's a money issue. And I don't know, quite honestly, I was thinking about this earlier today. You know, with the global economy the way it is, you know, what are the chances going to be when if Dovetail goes to a railroad, you know, whether it's somewhere in Europe or they contact another one here in America and says, you know, this is who we are, this is what we do. Would you like your, you know, would you consider allowing us the opportunity to have your, you know, your railroad basically in the game? Not the entire thing, but a good section, you know, where the players would get the most enjoyment out of your route, basically. Because from what it sounds like, the railroads get a cut of each route sale. So let's say that right now they get $1, and I don't know what the real amount is. I couldn't say, you know, I don't know that they even put that information out. And if it is, you know, if that information's out there, we don't know how true it really is. But if a, you know, would a railroad basically say, well, we would like to do this, but you know, we want more than $1 per route sale. So let's say they say, well, we want $5 for every sale. We want $5 out of that sale. Now, that could, in theory, mean that Dovetail would have to raise the price of the route for us players, because they have to, you know, they got to make their profit because they got to pay their employees and still have some money left over for, you know, other things, you know, maybe it's marketing or whatever, you know. So that means that we players are going to have to pay more for future content. So like if, say, Amtrak, you know, they go back to Amtrak and say, okay, well, you guys can re-release Northeast Corridor for Train Sim World 2, but we want a little bit more of the cut out of the sales, because it won't be, you know, some people, they may not allow it to be just a preserved collection. It may be completely redesigned or, you know, made better or whatever, but they're not going to want to give it away for free or whatever. So Amtrak might say, well, yeah, we want $5 out of every sale, and now what would have normally been a $20 route is now 25 or 30 or 35, you know, whatever, because they want to pay their employees for the work, and they want to, you know, certainly pay Amtrak the whatever the agreed upon amount that they get out of the each route sale. So yeah, it's a bit, you know, I don't think people really think about those sorts of things, you know. I try not to, because I mean it's an exercise in futility in a way, because I don't know the particulars of the economics about, you know, the games and how they sell and who makes what, you know, how much money each party makes out of, you know, where the developers make their salaries, and then the railroad makes their cut out of it. But I don't think many players consider that that's certainly in these economic times, the railroads certainly probably are not doing. They're probably doing just as bad, if not worse, than airlines are. People are still flying, but probably not as much as they used to. Uh, People are taking railroads. Amtrak's still making some money, but probably not as much as they used to, because a lot of people were working from home. The people that used to probably commute on the uh, the line that goes into Washington D.C. or Maryland or wherever. So those are all things to consider. But we should be thankful for what we get. But of course, like I said, when partners, the railroads themselves are going to start asking for a little bigger slice of the pie, that very well may mean that at some point the costs of the routes are going to go up. People aren't going to be too happy about that, but that's the nature of the business. Certainly people who don't work, that they expect their parents to buy the stuff for them. It's not. We're running a little bit late here. Oopsie daisy. But yeah, that's just something that I don't think people really consider, is the amount of money that it's going to take going forward, because economically a lot of these places are not doing very well. So it's going to get the fuel cap there. There's one on the other side too. Yep. You could fill it either way. All right, well, enough on my soapbox. It took about an hour and a half to do. That concludes our service, and that will be it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow on the West Somerset Railway, Class 33 GRN.